Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to another EFC 24/7 news report. I'm Callum. You may have seen me on the channel before for mainly the live streams and the Extra Time podcast. Today I'll be covering for the regulars, and yeah, so you may have seen me before on the channel. The transfer window is opening soon in 4 days, I believe, so that means you can, expect to see more 24/7 news reports. They'll become a regular fixture on the channel again during January when transfer news is hot around the country. Starting off, the main story that has been flying around Everton recently is the talk of Ross Barkley coming back to the club on loan from Chelsea. This is a report from the Telegraph saying that Ross Barkley could return to Goodison Park in January on loan. I don't particularly think it's a good idea, and I think a lot of Evertonians agree with me. The poll on the Toffee Blues Twitter, which you can check out if you go to the Toffee Blues, is 70% no. So I think a lot of people agree, and the idea is, I think a lot of it is directed to the way Ross Barkley left the club. I don't think it'd be a particularly good idea to bring someone with that negative stigma already when we have Rafa, who's getting enough hate as it is from the club, from the fans, which, with the form run he's on, he's probably deserved. But I'm not a big fan of the Ross Barkley move. I think he's played well in bursts at Chelsea. I think he's very good at progressing the ball with his feet, progressing the ball with his passes. He's up there in progressive passing stats if you look at websites like FB Ref, which I will reference a lot throughout this news thing. But yeah, I just don't think it'd be a good idea. His limited game time also makes his stats look a lot better than they are. I just don't think it'd be a good move for Everton unless we were paying minimum amount of his wages, because I can imagine Ross Barkley makes a decent pay packet at Chelsea, especially for when they signed him and the price they signed him for. So I think if Everton are going to look for a creative outlet at number 10, which is something the club do need, Ross Barkley is probably one of the last names I'd pick on the list. After that, it's all the Luka Digne speculation. It's run rampant ever since Rafa dropped him out of the squad. He's been dropped for a few games by Rafa now. We've got people like Nizar Kinsella reporting that, after Chelsea's left back, Ben Chilwell is going to miss the rest of the season. Chelsea are looking to replace the England international with Luka Digne on loan until the end of the season. Fabrizio Romano has also confirmed this, saying that Chelsea are approaching Luka Digne's camp as he is prepared to leave the club. We've got other clubs involved. Gazzetta Italia have reported that Inter Milan have made a contact with a loan with an option to buy. But Everton want an obligation, and Juventus want to do a loan swap with Luka Digne moving to Turin on loan and Aaron Ramsey coming the other way. That is from Tutto Juve. To be honest with you, none of these are a good idea for the club. I don't think any of the big rumours that have been mentioned are going to impact the club in a positive light in any way. Digne's had to play a much more defensive role this season in a Rafa Benitez system, which is, it has it's toned down the creative aspect of Luka Digne's game. But, if you look at his defensive stats, they've flown through the roof. His tackles, I think it's 2.74 per 90, which is a big number for left backs. He's also quite, for someone who's at his size, quite good in the air, winning 2.7 aerial duels per game. But it's his expected assists at 0.15 per 90. Or delving into all these stats, it may not usually be the norm, but I think it also shows that Digne, the creativity is still there when he goes forward. When he goes forward, he really can create chances for Everton, but he isn't being given that freedom to go forward. And after it looks like Everton have signed Michaelenko, or it will be announced at any time now, it looks like Digne will be out of the club at any point soon. I think it is a negative. I think he's been one of our best players for the past few years now. I don't agree with the people who complain about his form as of recently, because in the end he was one of, if not our only creative outlet under Carlo Ancelotti at times. I think he really helped the club. I think he's helped us in that progressive game going forward for a long time now. And I think it will be a loss, and I think we'll see that when he moves to that wing-back role at Chelsea. And, he really shows what he can do going forward. But, Chelsea's gain could be Everton's loss here if Everton decide to loan the left-back out. Some other rumours that are going around, Sky Sports are claiming that Newcastle are interested in signing Mason Holgate. I do not know the price of what they want to sign him for, but, Mason Holgate is a peripheral figure around Everton now. If we can get some money for him during, this crisis with FFP, then it'd definitely be probably a good idea for the club to sell if Newcastle can offer the right amount of money for Mason Holgate. Holgate has, he's still decently young player. He's a centre back who could still reach, a decent amount of potential, and definitely could be. He's probably a Premier League quality centre back for a team like Newcastle, fighting in relegation. But I think it's more of a problem for Newcastle, and this would be something that maybe a Newcastle channel talks about. But all this money coming in, and they're going for players like Mason Holgate, it's not really a positive sign for the club. But Sky Sports are also claiming that Everton and Arsenal are interested in Swedish winger Dejan Kulusevski from Juventus if the club decide to sell. Kulusevski is a very good player, and I think it'd be a great signing. I think he's still quite young if I have a look here. Yeah, he's still 21, If Everton could make a signing like this, a young 21-year-old winger who has shown at times that he has the world at his feet, I think it'd be a fantastic signing. But I think I know why Rafa wants to sign him. He makes about 23 pressures a game, putting him in the top 5% in all of Europe for attacking midfielders and wingers. I can imagine that's why Rafa wants to bring him in. He wants to bring in, a hard-working winger who will go back, who'll track back in a similar fashion to Andros Townsend, but someone like Kulusevski, younger, probably has a lot more technical ability. He's expected assists at 0.31 per 90, but his game time has also been limited under Allegri to appearances off the bench. So I think, once again, it's another player whose stats are hard to judge. But I think for the right price, this would be an amazing move for Everton if they are able to beat Arsenal to the signing of Kulusevski. So now we move over to Spain, with Everton joining the race for Philippe Coutinho, according to Spanish news outlet AS. We also did a poll on the Toffee Blues for Coutinho too, and it actually came out that 52% of Evertonians would take Coutinho at Everton. I think it would be an interesting move. I think Coutinho is someone on big wages, but has also proved when he's given the chance to play that he is still very talented, a fantastic dribbler. His progressive carries 10 per 9A. We put a lot of pressure on Demarai Gray to travel the ball upfield, and I think that is the problem for Everton, is Demarai Gray has to do so much of the work that eventually our attack can get stale at points. But with someone like Coutinho next to him, it would be a really good deal, especially if we can convince Barca to take most of the wages. If we can agree, I think he's on, I don't know what he's on, but I think we'd have to find a way to pay less of the wages. But Coutinho, in a similar fashion to James Rodriguez, he's not really a defensive player. He'd be staying forward with someone like Calvert-Lewin, and in this Rafa system where he wants everyone to come back and sit behind the ball and then burst forward in counters, is Coutinho really the right man to do that when really his defensive contributions aren't enough? It's a confusing one. I think I'd 100% take Coutinho at Everton on loan for the right price. Not to just plunge us into more financial problems by paying big wages, but I think it could be a smart move if Everton do it right. Then we move on. The next fixture is Everton versus Newcastle. I believe that is on Thursday, the 30th of December. Newcastle just picked up a 1-1 draw with United with 6 changes to his usual starting 11 against Ralph Rangnick's side. Newcastle played well, but I think one problem for Newcastle is both Alan St-Maximin and Callum Wilson hobbled off the pitch, seemingly injured, which means they could miss the Everton game. Also, this game could be postponed. Eddie Howe said, I believe it's 13 plus a goalkeeper. We're dangerously close to that number. Eddie Howe saying maybe that Newcastle will have the players to actually play this, and he also mentions how there's COVID in the camp, injured players. Howe is saying he'll try to get the game on, but it doesn't look likely. I think Everton really need this game against Newcastle, and if they've got injuries, we need it now. Everton are desperate to get on some good form after the draw against Chelsea. This next run of fixtures, which was supposed to start with, I believe it was supposed to start with Burnley before that game was called off. Everton need a good run of form. This is probably the club's best chance to get that good run of form under the belt. So I think going to play Newcastle and pick up 3 points is huge, but Newcastle are also in that relegation play. They're in the playing for getting relegated, and it looks like Eddie Howe's trying his hardest to keep them up. They showed against United that they can grind out performances, but if Everton come out at their best, we should be realistically picking up 3 points against Newcastle. Either way, really. That is all for today. That's all the rumours, all the news about the next game that is going around the Everton scene right now. Let me know what you think on people like Ross Barkley, Digne leaving, Coutinho, all these rumours I've talked about today. Let us know in the comments what you think about it. Like, subscribe, and thank you for watching.